The skies over planet Volcara turned black without warning. One moment, peace ruled the horizon. The next, flaming ships fell from the stars. Civilians screamed, sirens wailed. And above all, the sound of engines howled as unknown enemies descended. Like thunderclouds, Captain Rian Cole stood at the edge of Earth's last forward base on Volcara. His armor was scratched, his rifle hot from earlier fights. He had fought pirates, raiders, and beasts before, but this was different. These ships were too fast, too quiet, too precise. They weren't raiders. They were an empire. And they had come without warning. He looked at his unit. Fresh soldiers, some barely trained. Their eyes were wide. Their hands shook. Rian didn't blame them. He had seen wars. This one felt wrong. It felt like it was never supposed to happen. The first attack hit the North Towers. The next wave destroyed the communication hub. Then the enemies came on foot, black armored figures with glowing visors and strange rifles that melted steel. Hold. Your ground, Rian shouted. But he already knew they wouldn't. Not all of them. Explosions knocked several soldiers off their feet. Others ran. Rian didn't move. He aimed, he fired. His shots met targets, but the enemies kept coming. He spotted something unusual in the middle of the attackers. A tall figure. Not like the rest. No helmet. Green skin. Silver white hair whipping in the wind. Her armor looked ceremonial. Regal. Her eyes met his across the chaos. She didn't shoot. She didn't run. She watched. Who the hell is that? Rian muttered. A voice crackled in his cums. They're not just soldiers, that's House Thyron, royal elite. She's a princess. One of the officers gasped. She shouldn't be here. This isn't their war. But it was now. And Rian wasn't about to let anyone, royal or not, walk over his people. He fired again. Missed her shoulder by inches. She didn't flinch. She raised her hand and ordered her troops forward. They obeyed without hesitation. That moment told Rian everything he needed to know. She wasn't a puppet. She was a commander. The enemy lines broke through the western wall. Screams filled the air. Rian's comms buzzed again. Pull back. Command says retreat to Sector 4. Rian didn't like running. But today wasn't a day for pride. It was survival. As they retreated, the skies grew darker. Smoke filled the air. Drones flew overhead, scanning and marking positions. They were being hunted. Suddenly, a blast threw Rian off his feet. His vision blurred. His ears rang. When he opened his eyes, he was alone in a crater of fire and rubble. His team was gone. No signal. No help. Just the sound of approaching boots. He grabbed his rifle and aimed. But then he saw her again. The green-skinned princess. This time, she wasn't watching from afar. She was walking straight toward him, alone, no guards. No gun, just her piercing gaze. Stay back, Rian warned. She stopped 5 feet away. You are brave, she said. Her voice was calm. But this war is not yours. Not like this. Rian didn't lower his weapon. You attacked us. This planet was neutral. Your ships fired first. Her eyes narrowed. I never gave the order. Someone wants us both to bleed, Rian blinked. You're saying this was a setup? She nodded. Yes, and I can't go back. They'll silence me if they know I spoke with you. Rian looked at the flames rising behind her. The war was real. The danger was real. But so was the fear in her voice. She wasn't lying. And then, a new explosion rocked the ground. Debris flew through the air. The princess cried out and fell. Her shoulder burned from the blast. Without thinking, Rian dropped his weapon and rushed forward. He grabbed her, pulled her to cover, and shielded her with his own body. The moment felt unreal. The enemy, the war, the fire. And yet here he was, protecting the one person who might have the power to stop it. Why are you helping me? She whispered. Because someone has to end this, he replied. And at that moment, the first seed of an alliance was planted. Rian carried the alien princess through the broken ruins of the forward base. Her breathing was shallow. Her armor cracked, but she was still awake. Still watching him with those sharp silver eyes. Every step he took, he expected to be shot. But the battlefield was quiet now. Only smoke and sparks remained. The attackers had pulled back. For now, he found an old supply bunker buried under metal debris. Inside it was dark and half-burned, but it was shelter. He laid her down on a metal slab and searched for the first aid kit. "You're bleeding," he said. She nodded once. "My name is Kazari," she whispered. "Princess of Thyron Dominion." He didn't respond right away. He was focused on cleaning the wound, wrapping it tight with bandage strips and sealing foam. "I'm Captain Rian Cole," he finally said. "Earth Defense Corps, 1st Recon Battalion." Kazari looked at him closely. "You risked your life to save me, your enemy." "You're not the enemy anymore," Rian said. "Not if what you told me is true." She winced but didn't argue. "There are factions within my people. Some want peace. Others do not." "Then someone set this up," Rian said. "They want Earth and Thyron to go to war. And they almost got it." Kazari's expression hardened. "If I go back now, they will silence me. They fear what I know." "Then you're staying with me," Rian said. "Until we figure this out." Her eyes widened slightly. "That would make you a traitor to your command." "I've been called worse," he said with a smirk. Hours passed. Kazari rested while Rian scouted the perimeter. No sign of either side. Only burnt trees and collapsed towers. He returned with some ration packs and gave her half. She ate slowly, clearly not used to human food. "You're not like the others," she said. "Most humans would leave me to die." Rian looked at her, then the fire-lit sky beyond the cracks in the bunker wall. "I don't care about most humans. I care about doing what's right." Kazari leaned back, her voice softer now. "Then, you're different from every soldier I've ever faced." They sat in silence, two enemies, now fugitives. Bound by truth and betrayal, neither of them caused. That night, distant engines echoed through the air. Rian grabbed his rifle. Kazari stood as well, despite the pain in her arm. "They're coming," she said, "but not for me. They want to erase the evidence." "Then we move," Rian replied. They left the bunker, sticking to the shadows. Across the hills, a search squad landed. Drones scanned the area. Soldiers in black armor began sweeping the wreckage. "They'll kill anyone who survived," Rian whispered. "They'll call it cleansing," Kazari added grimly. Rian made a choice in that moment. Not just to protect her, but to fight against whoever started this war, whoever profited from chaos. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. They moved through forests, across rivers, deeper into the unclaimed lands. Kazari knew hidden paths. Old rebel trails not even satellites could see. She guided him with quiet strength. He was starting to trust her. That scared him more than the drones. At dawn they reached an ancient outpost buried in the cliffs. Long abandoned, it still had power. Kazari activated a hidden panel and revealed a chamber filled with glowing orbs and ancient scrolls. "This is where the truth begins," she said. Rian looked at the symbols. "What is this place?" "A memory vault. From the last civil war within my people. Secrets that were never meant to survive. And if we unlock them, we bring down the ones who planned this war." Rian stepped inside with her. He didn't know what he was about to uncover. But he knew one thing for certain. He wasn't turning back now. Inside the ancient vault, soft blue lights hummed from crystal panels along the walls. The air felt heavy with silence. This place had not been touched in centuries, but it still breathed. Kazari stepped forward and placed her palm on the central orb. Lines of alien script lit up across the chamber. They danced in spirals, glowing brighter as her touch awakened the systems. Rian watched from behind. His rifle rested beside him, forgotten for now. He wasn't sure what was happening, but he knew it was bigger than both of them. "This vault was created by my grandmother," Kazari said. "She was a dissident. She saw the darkness forming in our people's hearts and tried to stop it." "What did she leave behind?" Rian asked. "Evidence," Kazari replied. "Proof of secret deals, alliances forged in the shadows. Names of those who would start wars and frame others." A new image appeared in the air. A hologram of a Thyran general, speaking with a human in a dark suit. Rian stepped closer. "That's General Varos, and the man he's talking to, he's with Earth's Shadow Command." Kazari nodded slowly. "They planned the invasion together, Earth's military and my father's rival house." "Why would they do this?" Rian asked. "To profit from chaos, to rise in power. Peace is a threat to those who build empires on war." Rian clenched his fists. Everything he fought for had been twisted by people above him. People who smiled while soldiers died. "They blamed your people for the first strike," Rian said. "But it wasn't them. It was us, our own command." Kazari's eyes dimmed with sorrow. "And they used me to justify the war. A princess. On the battlefield, a symbol, a target. They almost got you killed," Rian said. "They almost made me kill you." "But you didn't," Kazari said. "You saw something different." Rian stepped back, trying to breathe. His world had changed in one night. His loyalty felt like a weight pressing on his chest. "What do we do now?" "We show them the truth," she answered. "But not alone." The vault systems detected a signal. A soft warning pulse echoed. "Someone is near," Kazari sighed. Rian grabbed his rifle and took position at the entrance. Two figures approached in the distance. Rian looked through his scope. Not Thyran. Not Earth Command. Independent armor. Bounty hunters. "They're tracking me," Kazari said. "Dead or alive, I'm worth more than a ship full of credits. They'll have to go through." "Me first," Rian growled. The hunters arrived fast. One moved with a long plasma lance. The other fired from behind cover. Rian returned fire while Kazari activated an old defense grid within the vault. Turrets sprang from the walls and blasted the ground outside. The first bounty hunter fell. The second fled, but not far. Rian caught him in the shoulder and dragged him into view. "Who sent you?" Rian demanded. The wounded man spit blood and smiled. "Everyone. There's a bounty on her head from both sides now." Rian didn't hesitate. He knocked the man unconscious and turned back to Kazari. "We need to leave." Kazari opened a small drawer beneath the orb and pulled out a glowing shard. "This holds the records. All of it. Names, orders, coordinates, it's everything. Then we deliver it," Rian said. "To someone who still has a soul." "There aren't many left," Kazari said quietly. "There's us," Rian replied. They sealed the vault and began the journey through the mountains. Days passed in silence. They avoided patrols, dodged drones, and crossed frozen cliffs. Every step brought them closer to a neutral station orbiting a mining moon. It was risky, but it was the only place left that wasn't owned by either side. Rian looked at Kazari as they waited for a shuttle hidden in the rocks. Her eyes were tired, but her spirit was still fierce. She hadn't broken. And he was beginning to feel like he never wanted her to. As the shuttle descended with a hiss of smoke, they stepped forward together. Enemies no longer. Just two survivors chasing justice. Asterisk, the shuttle lifted off from the icy rocks, vanishing into the thick clouds above. Inside, Rian sat beside Kazari, watching the jagged mountains fall behind them. For the first time in days, he felt the weight of quiet. The pilot was a smuggler named Bren, an old ally from Rian's past missions. He didn't ask questions. He flew where credits led him and respected those who came aboard with purpose. Kazari kept the data shard close to her chest. Bren glanced back once. "You bringing trouble to my ship, soldier?" "Trouble already." "Found us," Rian replied. "The shuttle docked at Station Vornis, a neutral trade ring hidden in the shadow of a gas giant. It was a place where rules were loose, and secrets moved faster than law." Kazari had never seen such a station. Her eyes widened at the smell of spice smoke, neon lights, and music echoing through metal halls. Rian led her through the crowd. He knew exactly who they needed to see. A contact named Mira Tell, a former intelligence officer turned rogue. She had once exposed a corruption ring in Earth's top ranks and disappeared before they could silence her. They found her in a forgotten lounge lit by flickering lights and broken screens. Mira sat at a corner booth, her mechanical eye scanning them before she even turned her head. "You've got guts showing your face here, Rian," she said. "I've got something you'll want." He answered. Kazari stepped forward and placed the shard on the table. Mira stared at it, then looked up. "Is that what I think it is?" "It's proof," Rian said. "Of who started the war. Of who's hiding behind all the blood." Mira picked up the shard, studied it, and then looked at Kazari. "You're the princess. The one with a death order from half the galaxy. I'm also the only one who still believes in peace," Kazari said. Mira stood. "Follow me." They moved through maintenance corridors, then down to a secured data chamber hidden behind a false wall. Mira slid the shard into her console. Holograms flared to life. Names, faces, messages, orders. It was undeniable. This could burn everything down. Mira whispered. "Then let it," Rian said. Myra didn't smile. She simply nodded. "I can get this to the Outer Congress, but you two can't stay here. The bounty on her head is growing by the hour." "We're not running," Kazari said. "You might not have a choice," Mira replied. Suddenly, the lights flickered. An alarm buzzed. Mira's console displayed a warning. In red, "Tracking beacon," she said. "Someone followed you here." Rian drew his sidearm. "How long until they find us?" "Not long," Mira said. "You need to disappear." "I can take her to the lower decks," Rian said. "We'll hide in the waste tunnels." "They'll still come," Mira warned. Kazari stepped forward. "Then we fight." They moved fast. Mira erased the logs. Rian guided Kazari through the tunnels, dodging workers and patrols. The hum of boots grew louder. Enemies were already here. When they reached the vent system, Kazari paused. "Why do you keep risking your life for me?" "Because you're not the enemy," Rian said. "You're the only one trying to stop this." She touched his hand briefly. Her skin was cold, but her touch was firm. Above them, soldiers swarmed the station. Rian could hear their voices echo through the steel halls. They carried energy rifles and orders to kill on sight. He pressed closer to Kazari. They reached a dead-end vent, but behind it was a maintenance shaft. Rian broke the seal and helped Kazari inside. They climbed for what felt like hours. When they emerged, they were beneath the station's power core. Heat blasted from the reactors, but it was quiet. "Safe for now." Kazari leaned against the wall and looked at Rian. "If we don't survive this, thank you." "We will," he said, and he meant it. The core chamber rumbled beneath their feet. The power of the station pulsed through thick, glowing coils. It masked their heat signatures and distorted most scans. Rian sealed the hatch behind them and leaned against the steel wall. Kazari sat on a crate nearby. Her armor was scorched and her arms still wrapped tightly, yet she held her chin high. Even in hiding, she looked like royalty. "We can't stay here long," Rian said. "If they trace our steps, they'll lock this place down." "I know," Kazari answered. "But if Mira gets the data to the Congress, this war could end." "It won't be that simple," Rian replied. "They'll call it fake. Deny everything. Hunt anyone who believes it. Then let them come, she said. Rian stared at her. He didn't see an enemy anymore. He saw someone who had lost her home, her family, and still chose the harder path. He sat beside her. The heat made sweat drip from his forehead. Why do you care about peace so much? My people used to sing songs of unity, she said softly. Now those songs are banned. I watched my mother cry when my father burned our old scrolls. Rian was silent. He remembered the orders he had followed without question, the names of men he trusted. Now all of it tasted bitter. You never had a choice. Kazari said. I do now, Rian replied. A sudden noise echoed above. Boots on. Steel, distant but getting closer. Rian stood. His rifle was ready. Kazari joined him. She no longer hesitated beside him. They moved together through the narrow maintenance tunnel. Pipes steamed, lights flickered red. The station's defenses were weakening under stress. Too many factions had entered Vornis. The whole place felt ready to fall. They reached a service elevator and climbed through the hatch. As it rose, the shaft shook violently. An explosion rocked the structure. Power flickered. Then everything went dark. Emergency lights kicked in. Orange glow filled the shaft. Rian looked down. Fire was rising from below. Something had triggered the fuel tanks. We need to get out now, he said. The elevator stopped at a transit level. Kazari kicked open the door. They tumbled into a cargo bay filled with crates, damaged bots, and flickering lights. There were voices nearby. Armed mercs scanning the area. Rian motioned for silence. Kazari nodded. They crept behind storage units. Inching closer to the outer airlock, one of the mercs spotted movement. He raised his rifle. There! Shots rang out. Rian returned fire. Kazari darted across the room, grabbing a fallen weapon. She moved like a trained warrior. No hesitation. No fear. Together, they brought down the mercs and sealed the door. Alarms blared across the bay. The station was in full lockdown. Outside, ships began to undock in panic. Something worse was coming. We can't go back to Mira now, Rian said. They'll be watching her. Then we get off the station, Kazari replied. And we take the fight to them. Rian checked the nav controls. One of the old escape shuttles still had power. It was small, unarmed, but fast. Kazari looked at the console. We can reach the free zone in 2 jumps. If we survive the way. Out. I'm not afraid, Rian said. Neither am I. Kazari replied. They climbed into the shuttle and started the launch sequence. Red lights lit the bay. Auto turrets activated. But before they could fire, the shuttle blasted free, bursting into the black of space. Behind them, the station began to break apart. Vornis was dying. But something new had just escaped its ashes. Asterisk. The stars stretched across the viewport as the shuttle broke free from the dying station. Kazari's eyes stayed fixed on the fading light behind them. Vornis had collapsed into chaos. And somewhere in that chaos, Mira was still inside. Rian piloted the shuttle with calm focus. His fingers moved across the controls, guiding them between drifting debris and shattered ships. The free zone wasn't far, but every second felt like an hour. Kazari finally turned from the viewport. If Myra didn't make it, we may be the last ones with the truth. She knew the risk, Rian said. She gave us this chance. Kazari opened a panel in the floor and pulled out a data transmitter. We send the files once we reach neutral range. And if they block it? Rian asked. Then we go to them ourselves, she said. Suddenly, an alarm beeped. A warship appeared behind them. Not Thyron. Not Earth. It bore the crest of the Mercantian Guild, a group loyal to money, not truth. And they had tracked the signal. We've got company, Rian said. Kazari checked the weapons console. This shuttle has no guns. Then we run smart, Rian replied. The Guild ship fired. Energy bolts lit the dark. Rian spun the shuttle hard to the left, dodging between meteor shards. The ship rattled from the force. Kazari held onto the frame, bracing against every jolt. "Shields at 50, she said. "Come on," Rian muttered. "One more turn." He angled the shuttle toward a gravity rift near the asteroid ring. The guild ship hesitated. The rift was unstable. No sane pilot would enter it. "We'll burn out," Kazari warned. "We'll burn either way," Rian said. He punched the throttle. The stars twisted around them as the shuttle entered the rift. Radiation spiked. Panels flickered. The hull creaked under pressure. Then they were through. Silence followed. The guild ship didn't chase. Kazari slumped into the co-pilot seat. "You are either incredibly brave or completely mad." "Probably both," Rian said. She gave a small smile. "I think I'm starting to trust you." "You took long enough," he replied. They entered the free zone 2 hours later. It was a floating colony built from old ships, stations, and cargo modules. It had no government. Only rules of survival and deals made in silence. Rian docked the shuttle and carried the data shard with care. Kazari walked beside him, her head high despite the bounty still chasing her. The people of the free zone watched them with interest, but kept their distance. They entered the central comms tower and met with the coordinator. A thin woman named Solin, blind in one eye but sharp as fire. She scanned the shard and raised an eyebrow. "You're either fools or heroes," Solin said. "We just want the truth to be heard," Kazari said. Solin placed the shard into her main array. "It'll take time to upload across neutral channels. But once it's out there, no empire will be able to deny it." "They'll try to kill us before it spreads," Rian said. "Then you better hide well," Solin replied. As the data transferred, Kazari sat beside Rian on the balcony. Below them, thousands of ships passed in silence. The galaxy was watching, waiting. "We did it," she whispered. "No," Rian said. "We just started." Asterisk, the message spread like wildfire across neutral space. Broadcasts lit up pirate radios. Hidden networks picked it up. Civilians, rebels, and even quiet soldiers listened as the files exposed every deal, every betrayal, and every face behind the war. Earth Command denied everything. The Thyran Council declared it false, but the damage was done. The truth was out, and no one could erase it. Rian and Kazari remained in hiding within the free zone. Their names filled wadded boards. But among the broken and the free, they were called something else now. Heroes. Inside a rusted hangar, Rian worked on repairing an old freighter. They needed to stay moving. The bounty on Kazari's head was too high. Someone would come for her. Eventually, she stood nearby, dressed in a cloak to hide her armor. Her eyes watched the stars through a cracked skylight. "My people will never forgive me," she said. "They don't have to," Rian replied. "You didn't do this for them. You did it because it was right." Kazari nodded. "Still, I betrayed a crown to stand beside you. And I betrayed my command to protect you," he said. Solin entered with a coded chip. Transmission just came in. "From rebels inside the Thyran court. They want to meet." Kazari took the chip. Then the truth reached more than we hoped. Rian looked at her. "If you go back, it'll be war. Not just from enemies, from your own family." "I know," she said. "But maybe it's time someone told the Empire what loyalty should really look like." They boarded the freighter that night. The ship groaned as it rose. The stars welcomed them like old friends. Rian checked the scanners. No pursuers yet. For now they had time. Inside the cockpit, Kazari stared at the display showing the Thyran capital. Her fingers hovered over the navigation panel. "Once I land, there's no turning back." "I'll be right behind you," Rian said. She looked at him and smiled. Not like a princess. Like a warrior who had chosen her path. They flew in silence until the capital lights appeared. Rian prepared for landing while Kazari sealed the message she planned to deliver before the Empire. It was a speech she had memorized, not of power, not of vengeance, but of peace earned through pain, through sacrifice, through choosing honor when laws failed. When they landed, soldiers surrounded the ship. Rian stepped out first. Guns pointed at him. He didn't move. Then Kazari emerged. The crowd gasped. She raised her voice. "I am Princess Kazari of Thyron. I have returned not to beg for mercy, but to offer a future without lies." Her voice echoed across the plaza. The soldiers hesitated. Some lowered their weapons. From a balcony above, her father's advisor stepped forward. "You broke every galactic law by standing with a human. And you broke the galaxy by hiding behind them," she answered. The plaza fell silent. Then a young soldier stepped forward and saluted. Another followed. The tide shifted with quiet resolve. Her words had broken through. Later, in a quiet hall, Kazari turned to Rian. "Whatever happens next, I will face it with you. And I will follow," Rian said. They stood not as soldier and princess, not as fugitives, but as the spark of something new, not a war, but a beginning.